Prince Charles and Camilla were in good spirits as they joined the Princess Royal to step in to host the Queen's first garden party of the summer today, after the monarch pulled out due to mobility issues. The Prince of Wales, 73, was smart in a top hat and tails for the occasion at Buckingham Palace, while the Duchess of Cornwall beamed in a pretty cornflower blue coat dress. Meanwhile, Princess Anne opted for an elegant red ensemble for the outing, which she paired with a khaki green fascinator and matching umbrella. Despite the pouring rain in the gardens of the palace, members of the public appeared delighted to be meeting the royal couple, who were snapped shaking hands with attendees. Traditionally, Her Majesty hosts 3 garden parties at Buckingham Palace, and 1 at the Palace of Holyrood House in Scotland, with the events having evolved into a way of recognising and rewarding public service. However, it was announced last week the monarch will miss this year's Buckingham Palace garden parties. Prince Charles' attendance at the event comes after he stepped in to read the Queen's speech at the state opening of Parliament earlier this week. Other royals have been asked to represent the 96-year-old monarch this year because she would have had to stand for more than an hour and move down the lines greeting people. The head of state, who has been suffering from mobility and health issues in recent months, will not be at the events which are taking place for the first time since 2019. Speaking of the decision, which was announced last week, royal expert Angela Levin said, "It's a good decision for the Queen not to attend garden parties as there would be too much standing. What a shame though. As for the royal garden parties, normally there are up to 3 at Buckingham Palace each summer, as well as another at the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh. Queen was very proud to see Prince Charles and William step in at the state opening of Parliament. Royal sources say the Queen was very proud to see Prince Charles and William step in at the state opening of Parliament after she had to pull out for mobility issues. This week the Queen was dramatically forced to pull out of the state opening of Parliament for the first time in 59 years because of her increasing mobility issues. Prince Charles read her speech for the first time, accompanied by Prince William, who had never attended before. Questions were inevitably asked about whether the increasingly frail 96-year-old monarch will ever be seen in the Palace of Westminster again. Yet palace sources were quick to shut down suggestions. Charles, 73, was acting as a Prince Regent, The Sun reported. A senior source said, the Queen was very proud to see her son and grandson step in. An emotional Prince Charles gazed at his mother's crown before he announced 38 of Boris Johnson's bills for the coming year, including new laws to properly punish eco-hooligans, capitalise on Brexit, better regulate landlords and ensure Britons can pay their soaring bills. Prince William and the Duchess of Cornwall flanked the Prince of Wales as he delivered the speech from the consort's throne, used by his father Prince Philip for decades, in a major constitutional moment for the UK. The annual Buckingham Palace garden parties, started in the 1860s by Queen Victoria, are a way of recognising and rewarding public service and see people from all walks of life enjoy high tea on the lawn to the sounds of a military band. Every year, the Queen invites 30,000 people to attend the parties, and in 2018, 8,000 guests attended the first soirée of the season. After the past 2 years saw the parties cancelled because of the pandemic, royal aides announced this morning that they would return this summer. For the occasion, men are asked to wear morning dress or lounge suits, while women are invited to wear a day dress, usually with hats or fascinators. The 3 events at Buckingham Palace will take place on the next 3 Wednesdays of this month, May 11, 18 and 25. The Holyrood House Party will be on June 29. The garden parties serve an important way for the royals to speak to a broad range of people from all walks of life, all of whom have made a positive impact in their community. At each garden party, around 27,000 cups of tea, 20,000 sandwiches and 20,000 slices of cake are consumed. The garden party tradition was started in the 1860s by Queen Victoria, who used to call them breakfasts. The parties will take place in the Queen's Platinum Jubilee year and held for guests in recognition of their positive contributions to communities across Britain. There will also be a Not Forgotten Association annual garden party tomorrow, May 12, which will be hosted by Princess Anne, who is patron of the charity. The Not Forgotten Association provides entertainment, leisure and recreation for the serving wounded, injured or sick and for ex-service men and women with disabilities. The garden party for the organization, which will also be held at Buckingham Palace, will bring together more than 2,000 beneficiaries of all ages and from all services. A Buckingham Palace spokesman said last week, Her Majesty the Queen will be represented by other members of the royal family at this year's garden parties, with details on attendance to be confirmed in due course. The Queen attended a service commemorating the life of her late husband the Duke of Edinburgh in March with senior royals and a congregation of hundreds. She reached her Platinum Jubilee in February, overcame COVID after testing positive that month, and celebrated her 96th birthday privately on April 21 at Sandringham. Last October, she spent a night in hospital and spent the following 3 months under doctor's orders to only conduct light duties and missed a number of events. The Queen has been using a walking stick in public since she attended a service marking the centenary of the Royal British Legion last October.